All right, so today we're diving into something that I think just about everyone listening can relate to in one way or another.
Yeah.
I mean, online dating,
Oh, yeah. It's everywhere now.
it really is. And, maybe you're out there swiping right now.
Right.
Maybe you're just kind of watching all this unfold around you, wondering, like, what's the impact going to be on relationships in the long run?
Hmm.
Or maybe you just find it fascinating to think about how all this technology is shaping our lives, even in the most, personal, intimate ways, like finding a partner.
Totally.
So that's what we're going to do today.
Right.
We're going to take a deep dive into the research of the data.
Yeah.
We're really going to try to understand, is online dating like fundamentally changing the game when it comes to traditional relationships?
That's the big question.
It is, and if so, how?
Right.
So we've got a ton of really interesting sources for this one.
Oh, yeah. This is a hot topic.
Really covering the whole evolution of online dating
Yeah.
from, the early days to what it is today.
I mean, it's like a whole different world now
It is.
than it was even just a few years ago.
Exactly.
So we're going to dig into all that today.
We are.
The good, the bad, and maybe even the ugly.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we'll try to distill it all down
Mm.
into some clear takeaways for you so you can kind of understand this whole evolving dynamic.
Right. Because, I mean, it's a big deal, right? It's how people are meeting these days.
Exactly.
And it's important to understand how it's changing things.
It is.
So, yeah, let's jump in.
Okay, so one thing that really brings out from all the research we've done is just the sheer scale of this change.
Yeah.
It's not just like some small trend happening in the corner.
No.
It's like a complete transformation in how relationships even begin.
It's like the whole landscape has shifted.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And the sources we're looking at, they really highlight this.
Uh-huh.
Like they talk about how smartphones and the internet,
Yeah.
everybody's connected now,
Right.
right?
Right.
And it's created this like unprecedented reach.
Right.
Like you can connect with literally billions of people.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling when you think about it.
It is.
It's not like, back in the day,
Right.
where you'd meet someone through a friend of a friend or at the local coffee shop. It's like
Right.
the whole world is suddenly your potential dating pool.
Yeah. It's like a quantum leap.
Totally.
Like in terms of just like the possibilities.
Yeah, and the data really shows this.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, these platforms have become so central to how people are dating these days.
I mean, it's just the reality now.
It is. And, for you, the listener,
Yeah.
this actually opens up some pretty significant advantages.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about it, especially for people who have, super busy lives.
Right.
Or maybe they don't feel comfortable in those traditional social settings.
Or maybe they've just had bad luck.
Right. Or maybe they live in a small town, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Online dating provides this really valuable alternative.
Totally. It's like a way to put yourself out there
Uh-huh.
on your own terms.
Right. And on your own time.
Yeah, exactly.
And the research actually suggests that this can be really empowering.
Oh, for sure. Especially for people who might feel marginalized
Mm-hmm.
in those like, more traditional dating scenarios.
Absolutely. And, think about it. You can browse profiles whenever you want.
Mm.
You can send messages at your own pace. You
Yeah.
don't have the pressure of an immediate face-to-face interaction.
Right.
It's almost like a curated marketplace of potential partners.
Yeah, it's like shopping for a partner.
In a way, right.
But, hopefully a little more meaningful than that.
Of course. Of course.
I get what you're saying.
Totally. But it's not just about convenience either.
Right.
The research also points to this breaking down of geographical barriers.
That's huge.
It is.
I mean, you're no longer limited by proximity.
Exactly. So if you have very specific preferences,
Right.
or you're looking for someone with a really niche interest.
Like underwater basket weaving.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's just not common in your local area.
Right.
Suddenly you have this whole world of possibilities.
Mm.
And research suggests that online dating can actually help you find more compatible matches.
Yeah.
Right from the start, because you're connecting based on shared interests and value.
Right. You're more likely to find someone who's on the same page.
Exactly.
Right from the get-go.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the benefits.
Yeah, the upside.
But of course, we have to acknowledge
Yeah.
that there are also some potential downsides.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the sources we've looked at won't shy away from that.
No, they're pretty upfront about the risks.
Right.
I mean, it's not all sunshine and roses.
It's not, and it's not all, perfectly curated profiles
Right.
and instant connections.
No, definitely not.
So let's talk about some of those challenges.
Okay.
So one thing that comes up a lot is the anonymity of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
While that can provide a sense of comfort initially,
Yeah, you can kind of hide behind a screen.
right, it also unfortunately creates opportunities for deception.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the sources talk about this quite a bit.
They do.
The prevalence of fake profiles,
Uh-huh.
catfishing scams,
Right.
all of that.
And just people not being totally honest.
Right, about who they are or what they're looking for.
Exactly.
And that can obviously lead to a lot of disappointment and
Yeah.
even emotional distress.
It can be really hurtful
It can.
to get your hopes up and then have them dashed.
Absolutely. And the sources also talk about how these curated online profiles can sometimes lead to unrealistic expectations.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
People might present like this idealized version of themselves.
Right. Everyone's putting their best foot forward.
Right. And since you're not getting those nonverbal cues in those early interactions.
Yep. Like body language and tone of voice.
Exactly. It can be really hard to gauge someone's true intentions.
Right. You don't really know who you're dealing with.
And that's where, a healthy dose of skepticism and caution comes in.
Yeah, definitely.
For anyone who's using online dating.
I mean, you got to be smart about it.
You do.
You can't just trust everyone you meet online.
Right.
You got to be careful.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've seen this huge shift
Yep.
with some pretty clear benefits
Right.
in terms of access and convenience,
Uh-huh.
but also some real potential pitfalls
Yeah.
when it comes to safety and emotional well-being.
For sure.
But I think the real heart of our discussion today is this ultimately killing traditional relationships?
Right. Is online dating the end of romance as we know it?
Exactly. And looking at the research, it seems like the experts have a more nuanced view.
Okay.
It's not so black and white.
Right.
They're saying it's more about redefining
Okay.
than completely destroying traditional relationships.
So it's not the end of the world?
Well, the research suggests not.
Okay.
The argument is that while that initial meeting
Mm-hmm.
might now happen online,
Yeah.
the thing that really make a relationship work
Right.
long-term,
Mm-hmm.
things like trust,
Mm-hmm.
communication,
Right.
shared values,
Yeah.
mutual respect,
All that good stuff.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That still develops through real-world interactions.
It has to.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't build a real connection just through texting
right.
or looking at pictures.
can't.
You got to actually spend time with someone.
And see how they behave.
Right.
And share experiences together.
Exactly.
So basically the digital space
Yep.
is changing how we find each other,
Right.
but not necessarily the core ingredients
Mm-hmm.
of what makes a relationship last.
Got it.
So it's kind of like the internet and dating apps become this new kind of meeting place,
Okay.
almost like a community event or a workplace used to be.
Right. Just another way to meet people.
Right. It's just another avenue
Uh-huh.
for that really basic human desire to connect.
We're social creatures.
We are.
We need connection.
Right.
And online dating is just another way to get it.
That's right. And, the research actually draws some parallels
Okay.
to historical shifts
Interesting.
in how people met throughout history.
Like what?
Well, as societies evolved,
Yep.
they became more mobile,
Mm-hmm.
and the ways that people crossed paths
Right.
and met potential partners also changed.
So online dating is just the latest version of that.
In a way.
Huh. Interesting.
So online dating isn't inherently bad for relationships.
Okay.
Then how do we navigate this whole digital landscape
Right.
in a way that actually helps us foster those meaningful connections?
That's the million-dollar question.
It is. And the sources really emphasize this idea of balance.
Okay, balance between online and offline.
Exactly.
So, like, don't just live in the digital world. You gotta
Right.
bring it into the real world, too.
Exactly. And the research consistently points to this need to integrate online interactions with offline engagement.
Makes sense.
Like a relationship can't truly flourish if it's
No.
just happening through messages and profiles.
It's got to be more than that.
It does.
It's got to be real.
It does.
Because,
Absolutely. So the takeaway here for you, the listener,
mm-hmm.
is don't let your online dating life
Yeah.
exist only in the digital world.
Right. Get out there.
Exactly.
Meet people in person.
Use the apps as a starting point,
Right.
but then prioritize taking those connections offline
Right.
to see if there's a genuine spark
Yeah.
and a foundation for a real relationship.
Because that's what it's all about, right?
And yes, it's about real connection, and the
Mhm.
research suggests
Yep.
that the most successful approach is one that combines both.
Okay.
You leverage the efficiency and the broad reach
Yeah.
of online dating to start those connections.
Right.
But then you quickly transition to face-to-face interactions
Uh-huh.
to actually build that deeper, more meaningful relationship.
So it's about using technology as a tool,
Yes,
not a replacement for real human connection.
that's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's bring it all together.
All right.
What have
Yeah.
we learned today?
Yeah.
Well, online dating has absolutely revolutionized how we start relationships.
For sure.
It's given us incredible opportunities.
Yeah. To connect with more people.
More people than ever before.
Right.
But it also comes with some unique challenges
Mm.
that we need to be aware of and cautious about.
Absolutely.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
the research suggests
Yeah.
that it's not the death knell
Okay.
for traditional relationships.
Phew.
Right.
I'm getting worried there for a sec.
It's more like this significant evolution
Okay.
in how we find each other.
Right.
But the fundamentals of building a strong, lasting relationship,
Yeah.
those haven't really changed.
So it's all about how you use it.
It is.
Like online dating can be good or bad,
A can.
depending on how you approach it.
Exactly. Are you being critical?
Right.
Are you aware of the potential pitfalls? Are
Uh-huh.
you actually prioritizing those real-world
To
interactions?
build something real.
Exactly. Those are the key questions to ask
All
yourself.
right.
And it leaves us with this final thought for
Mhm.
you to ponder.
Hit me.
As technology keeps advancing
Yeah.
at this crazy pace,
Uh-huh.
how will we continue to adapt in
Right.
how we understand and pursue those truly meaningful connections?
That's a good question.
It is, and in this ever-evolving landscape,
Mm-hmm.
what role will those age-old values
Right.
of trust,
Uh-huh.
empathy,
Yeah.
genuine human interaction?
That face-to-face stuff.
Exactly. What role will those play?
Big questions.
Big question.
I didn't know the answer.
Neither do I, and it's something to think about
It is.
as we move forward in this crazy digital world.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.